Hey guys, Leland here with Bottom Table Tyrants. I got Tim in the studio again, and we wanted to talk about doing character voices. You always have some great tips and tricks, and so I wanted to pick your brain about it because I'm trying to get better at it. I feel like all my characters always end up Borat. Like all of them devolve into Borat, especially the more tired I get during an evening of gaming and stuff like that. So I wanted to, you know, get your takes on that. I think you had the greatest one about the female voices that has given me a lot of confidence because of your tips on that. So it's like, please tell us give us your knowledge about using voices.
So voices are very fun. Voices are very difficult. Nobody is good at voices. If you do a Google search or YouTube search for famous actors doing bad accents in movies, and watch these people who are paid more than I will ever make in my life doing a voice that is just absolutely abhorrent. Those videos are so much fun to watch. So on the one hand, you could study accents and speech patterns and all kinds of stuff like that. If you really want to get into that, you can absolutely do that. There's videos out there for it. But there are also lots of little tips and tricks that you can do to give characters voices. You don't have to do voices. No matter what anyone says, you don't have to do them, but they are a lot of fun to do. So you brought up the one for a person like myself who's got a very low kind of gravelly voice to do a female character. A lot of times it's really easy to just think, oh yeah, ladies have higher pitched voices. So if I go up here, then suddenly I'm a girl, right? And now I've got a girl voice. No, that sounds terrible. Yeah. So the adjective that was described to me is soft. If you make your voice softer, it sounds more feminine, and that may be just something like pulling the vocal cords back a little bit. Relax, just make your voice a little bit softer. Make everything a little bit more smooth, a little bit more. You see, I'm not going up any higher. I'm just getting a little bit softer, and that kind of gives that voice a more feminine aspect. If you want to, you can go softer, and then you can go higher pitched. And you can go up here where the voice is a little bit. You play around with it and see what's comfortable for you. One of the things that I struggle with, but I stick with to a great success, is accents. Yeah, I love to do accents, and one of the things that Brennan Lee Mulligan talks about is giving those stereotypical accents to the people that are not normally stereotyped to them. So in my game, all vampires are Southerners, mostly cowboys. So whenever a vampire shows up, or if anyone does anything that is real cowboy-esque, everyone mistakes them for a vampire. But it's real easy to turn into a Southern drawl. Kind of, you can go a little more Georgia with your I'm just a small Southern lawyer. You can do that little draw, or you can kind of make it a little more gravelly, a little more Elvis, a little more and it's not great. None of those are probably accurate regional accents, but just pick one and stick with it. Yeah. To emphasize the importance of an accent, or more importantly, a cadence, the way that the words come out and the order that they come out. People have told me that I do a really good Meatwad impersonation. This is probably dating myself. All the Zoomers don't know what Aqua Teen Hunger Force is. Yeah. But Meatwad is a ball of meat who is a superhero who lives with a milkshake and a box of fries. And Meatwad has a very distinct voice. And to do Meatwad's voice, you kind of tense up the bottom of your vocal cords to get this sound. And you get this in the back of your throat. And that's what gives you that weird sort of back of the throat sound. And then Meatwad, because he's younger, his voice is a little bit higher up. So as soon as you bring your voice up to a high register, then you start to get Meatwad. But the most important thing about Meatwad is not the sound or the timbre, not the pitch, which is how high or low it is, but the cadence. Because Meatwad is going to talk like this. He got a little bit of that swing to it. So when he says, hey, Friday, I want some potato chips for dinner. I'm going to put them in the microwave, smother them up with some cheese. Oh, yeah, boy, that's going to be so good. Yeah. So it's adding that cadence to it that it really, really makes that character. Yeah.
Cadence is definitely that's the main thing I go to for me. I watch some videos, and there's a lot of great stuff out on YouTube. I highly recommend it. And we'll be talking about these more often as well. But that's how I change my characters up, is I always kind of do it by like the description of it. I say like slashing or gritty or tapping, and I guess so like slashing is they're like, hey, what are you doing? you know, like they have this
Yep.
like shoot, like slashing sound, like the way they're talking. I don't change my voice. I'm not doing a high voice, low voice. I'm not changing it. I'm just changing the cadence. Literally gives you a totally different voice. The tapping is the like, hey, yeah, it's me, Imoen. Like they're very like da 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 da. Like they hit the front consonant or whatever the letter is they pronounce it with a little bit of pop every single time. And then you can go kind of like looping where they're like, well, I don't even know what to do. I don't even, you know, it's like, so it's literally, it's my same voice, but you're just doing these different actions with it, from slashing to looping to like floating. You can, you know, go high, you know, up and down to up, and all of those gives you, that's a totally new voice for you got a new character. He's covered. And I literally will just write, you know, tavern brawler, slashing, tavern keeper, tapping, you know, and I just put that little word next to their player character when I'm about to bring them in, so I know the type of voice that I want to do with them, and that's it. Now I also color code them, and I'll have like, okay, tapping's gonna be yellow, so whenever I know that he's coming in, I'll like, oh, tapping's yellow, so I know to do the tapping voice, so I make sure I'm doing the right voice for the right character when I need to.
You can also play with timing. Everyone has their own speed at which they talk.
Yes. Yep.
So you can have a bartender who's got a real slow pattern because he just likes to polish that glass all day. And if you start a character with a slow voice, there's going to be players at your table that, oh, I can't believe we have to talk to this guy again. But that's never an actual frustration. That's a fun frustration.
Well, as an Oklahoman, I don't know, but I've been, when I went to school in South Carolina, people would be like, "You talk so slow," and I was like, "Really? I don't feel like it." And also, I don't feel like I talk like most Oklahomans either. But very much, they were like, "Wow, you speak so slowly." Like they would point it out and be like, "What? Speed it up, brother." So it was different and weird to hear people say that I spoke slowly, even when I don't feel like I do. And I know a lot of people speak way slower than me from Oklahoma and stuff like that. So I was like, if you think I'm bad, there's way worse out there.
You can also use speed as a trick for accuracy. The slower you talk, the longer you have to catch up with where you are in the sentence in your brain.
Yeah.
The faster you talk, the faster your brain has to come up with words. So you're gonna stumble. That's why the one end of the spectrum, you've got the turtle from Neverending Story, who never misses a single syllable because he's talking so slowly. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got Boomhauer. Dangle man, we're gonna go down on Marvin and get them arrows. We'll shoot them, pew 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 pew, shoot some arrow down out and shoot them orcs down off them horses. Yeah. Half of those words don't matter, but you can play with that speed of it.
Yeah, and if anything, ramble while you're thinking of like, oh, where's he going with this? So
do voices.
Yeah, just do voices, and don't be afraid. I guess that's what I say.
Don't just do voices. Do sound effects.
Ooh,
this is something that I have tried to start doing more of. If you describe these feet stomping down the hallway, make the noise. There's a loud crackling sound as a fireball flies through the window, and
yeah.
People love sound effects.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes. Like I don't feel like I'm not even thinking about that. I'm like, nah, I need to add that into my game. So
do sound effects.
All right. Good stuff. That's our voices for today. I'm sure we'll have more episodes like this. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section down below. We really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.